Hello and welcome to today's webinar on mobility and financial services. On today's mobility and financial services webinar, we'll get into why mobile, why now, why this is important, why you should pay attention to it today. We'll get into some best practices within the industry of financial services. We'll get into two great examples of customer solutions, including customer onboarding and mobile mortgage processing. And then at the end, we'll wrap up with some key takeaways. So today's presenters, myself, Chris Edgington. I am Industry Solutions specializing and focusing on the financial services market for Kofax, and Mr. Bruce Orcutt, who's Senior Director in Product Marketing, whose focus is in mobile and mobility here at Kofax. As you can see, there are two great resources here for you with some links to some webpage with our solutions on the financial services as well as mobile capture. In this section, why mobile, why now, we'll take a look at some of the business trends in financial services. We'll take a look at how big the mobile market actually is and really explore some of the differences between the internet-connected online world and the mobile world. This slide will go through some trends and outlooks in the financial services, and I've highlighted a couple here. Really is about financial institutions are struggling to find the right channel mix and to optimize the customer experience, and then really to try and engage with customers across the variety of ways in which customers want to and need to interact with financial services firms today. While they also need to develop a new business model, but execution is the key here, and that will be one of those elusive goals in the financial services industry is really execution. So how do we optimize the process for both the back office and the front office, as well as the customer? And tackling into those back office is really trying to get to operational efficiencies to reduce cost, all the while trying to hit that home run while improving customer service. So what's on the mind of CIOs today? This is a survey that CIO Study did in 2011. Where do you have increased competitiveness over the next 3 to 5 years? So you can see that mobility solutions in banking and across the globe is second on the top priority list, right behind business intelligence and analytics. People are focusing on mobility and trying to figure out how to do it right. A great slide on mobile mortgage. It's huge and growing, as you can see from some of the data points here. 400 million smartphones sold in 2012, 110 billion in mobile e-commerce sales last year in 2011. In 1 week in 2011, 1.2 billion application downloads. So the market's huge. It's growing only to get bigger. And just to differentiate a little bit here, that mobile is not the internet. Mobile is not online. It's not an online experience. And I think that's a key differentiator for us today to learn is that we actually have to pander to both markets. And you can see here that only 34% of the world's population is online, connected to the internet through some sort of PC or laptop, whereas 61% of the population actually owns a mobile device of some sort. If we fast forward to 2016, you'll see that there's not much change in the population that will be online, but you'll see over 2/3 of the population will still be mobile in some sort of mobile device. So how connected are your customers to their mobile phones? This is I thought this was a very poignant 3 data points here from Into Mobile. They did a survey that 84% of people surveyed keep their device within 3 meters of them at all times, and that an average person looks at their phone 150 times a day, or every 6.5 minutes. And then this is another one too, with the SMS text messages are read 4 minutes after it's sent, whereas an email is read 48 hours after it's sent. So it actually gets to that immediacy of the market and how you actually have to plan your mobility and your mobile applications in that immediacy of the mobile applications equal huge opportunities. On the left side of the slide, you can see where in the business-to-consumer market, where there is distinct advantage in the mobile market for having a very robust mobility strategy that can really bring about a competitive differentiator, improve your customer service, get to that customer engagement and loyalty with customers, providing some insight into the buying cycle for that all too critical cross and upsell opportunity, and get you to revenue in a quicker amount of time and really improve your brand perception. On the right side of the slide, you can see the business to enterprise perspective here through increasing your revenue through more productive sales engagements, being able to take care of business right there, right then with your with the customers, improved claims processing, increased worker productivity, your responsiveness, decision-making speed, and I think one of the bigger benefits here is really reducing your process latency and shortening the time to get all of the processes done in a very timely, efficient, and effective manner. This is actually at the top a snippet that I got from visiting one of our customers, but it really speaks to how that they've actually crystallized their mobile strategy, is that they plan for interactions with their customers, and that a customer would only use a phone, an interaction on their phone for 9 seconds, and then anything over 9 seconds that would actually involve a more time-consuming interaction, they would have 9 minutes for the tablet and then 9 hours for everything else. So this really speaks to that immediacy of the phone and how to use a mobile app. So how are these mobile apps different? So a lot of these bullet points are very self-evident, like the screen real estate's very precious. You should minimize typing. They should still be available, the application should, outside of any kind of wireless coverage. Security is vitally critical so that we actually are able to secure transmissions. The interactions are very short. They're focused. Content in this case is very key to have correct and powerful. And the users themselves require that efficient and timely access to information. So again, this is how to differentiate some of your mobile applications from your internet applications and why they are different. So the scope of these projects, typically what I've come across here is that we tend to, the industry actually is categorizing some of these interactions in 3 broad categories: informational, transactional, and value-added services. A later slide, you'll see that TowerGroup actually sort of uses this same sort of model in their in some of their research, but really it's kind of an escalating scale, and it's more of a maturity growth model here that most financial services firms are in this first informational stage, which provides the ability for customers to check their account balance, transaction history, really limited value, limited revenue potential here. And they're already kind of involved in the market, so it's just kind of like sticking their big toe in the water, for example, per se. The second category here is you move up that sort of that maturity model is really transactional, paying for goods and services, transferring money, receiving remittance, and it does have a large revenue potential here. And then the third category is really value-added services. So taking that transaction one step further and providing some value to it, and there's a very large revenue potential in developed markets here. So just 3 steps of the way of how you can think about mobility projects and how they're being implemented. So best practices in financial services. Here's a slide from Forrester. It really has 3 main points on their best practices in mobility. Really is to have a mobile website that's different than your internet website. As we talked about earlier, is that the way people use a mobile website and they use an internet website is very different. The interactions are very much different from a user experience. And you also have to differentiate from your mobile site and your applications. Again, different purposes, different uses, and you really need to differentiate there. And I think this next point I'm on about thinking in the immediacy, thinking simplistic, and then context is king, is make sure you push the right content to the right person at the right time. Some key points here, you can see these, but it's not about sites or apps, it's about offering the best content, and start thinking about your customers' needs now. That's a really key point, is just don't try to push what you think they know, but really start to get in front of them and push what you know that they need. And remember that value proposition: immediacy, simplicity, and context. As I mentioned earlier, on the TowerGroup's website, TowerGroup's research, I should say, sorry about that, this maturity model, really from informational to transactional, interactive to orchestrative, really pushes that best practice and maturity model as you get more experienced in the mobility market, what your customers are actually looking for, what they're actually seeking, and as you go further up the curve, more of the revenue potential to actually make money off of your mobility strategy comes into play. So some key drivers, strategic and technology initiatives. Really across the top, you'll see that the key drivers really here are customers' profitability, regulatory compliance, and cost containment. And then down below, we're going to build the slide for the strategic initiatives that will actually go about hitting some of those key drivers, and then the technology initiatives or projects that actually support the strategic initiatives. So you need to support your customer acquisition, your retention, establish your brand value. I think enhancing your multi-channel integration is huge. So you have to be able to provide that channel of choice for customers so that they interact the way they want to interact across any kind of input channel into the organization. And it has to be the same sort of experience across those input channels. And in this highly regulatory environment that's ever changing, complying with all those regulations is really, it's a whole job into itself. So some of the technology initiatives there, really streamlining, standardizing, being able to offer that single customer view, and getting into some of those customer analytics that actually can forecast, that can provide that trending so that you can actually get in front of some of the ways in which your customers are wanting or needing your services. Mobility at Kofax. I'm going to show you a short video here how we here at Kofax view mobility.
What if your employees and customers could capture information from anywhere and instantly initiate revenue-generating business processes? With Kofax Mobile Capture, simply taking a photo with a smartphone or tablet extends business processes to the point of origination where the information is first available. By snapping a picture through a touchless process, the information is automatically perfected, classified, separated, extracted, validated, and inserted into any step of a business process. Take a loan approval process. After starting, the lender may later request trailing documents like credit reports, proof of income, or employment records. With Kofax Mobile Capture, that information can be captured at any time by the customer themselves and instantly inserted into any step in the process. The missing or trailing document doesn't cause a delay. It's simply captured in process and activity continues on schedule. Compromised image quality causes higher exception and correction costs. And the challenges of getting data at quality capable of driving business processes are greater on mobile than traditional scanners. Kofax's patented, market-leading virtual rescan image perfection technology ensures mobile images taken are the highest quality and process-ready. This equates to faster processes, lower costs, and better data so knowledge workers can more quickly understand and act on the information. Better engage with your customers on their terms for enhanced service, achieve a competitive advantage, and grow your business and revenue, all with Kofax Mobile Capture.
In this section of the webinar, we'll explore mobility at Kofax with two outstanding solution examples in financial services, including customer onboarding and mobile mortgage. So how we actually help optimize the customer onboarding. We streamline the opening of the account from weeks within hours, and it gets to that time to revenue. We can actually capture all of those required documents at the branch, off of the device, off of email, all of those, again, just come in that consistent entry point into the organization. And I think, as you'll see in this video in a couple of minutes, we can actually trigger events and interactions and notifications with the customer, so that if you don't get all of the information that's necessary to process the transaction, we can trigger that, ask the customer to send it back in, all in an automated, fairly automated and secure manner. As you can see here, that no matter how the information comes in, we can still extract the information from that, validate, classify it, and give you all that accurate information into the back-end process, and give you that traceability so that all the audits, all the compliance issues are taken care of every step of the way. We can also, again, give you those notifications back, messaging new customers. We can provide, offers based upon segmentation of your customers, new offers for products and services, so that everybody's kept abreast, and we can actually get that lifetime loyal customer that we're looking for. And a major point, differentiator for us, is that we can actually classify and all of these new forms or new documents in a learning way. So you don't have to keep updating the system with new forms. We can actually feed the forms to the system, and the system actually learns right through in the process itself. So our whole really goal in this is really to better that customer experience, speed, accuracy, communication, visibility. All of those things can be brought to bear in a new automated, streamlined fashion.
How long does it take to onboard a new customer, and what kind of experience do you provide in the process? Laura Wilson has recently moved and is thinking about switching banks. She sees an advertisement for Bankwright on a social networking site. She can call, click, or visit to complete an application, and decides to visit the bank to check it out. Laura meets with Manuel, a new account representative. She decides to open an account, and they fill in the application together. She also completes a fund transfer approval form. Laura brought her driver's license as proof of ID. She also needs to provide proof of address, like a utility bill, but she doesn't have one yet at her new home. Manuel tells her she will receive a text and email from the bank with a link to upload a household bill. Manuel uses the Kofax Mobile Capture application on his tablet device to take a photograph of the documents. The information is uploaded directly to the bank's central headquarters from the point of origination at the branch. The documents are automatically classified and separated. Data is automatically extracted in a highly accurate touchless process without any human intervention. Laura's case is instantly opened. The Kofax solution uses Bankwright's internal business rules to segment customers based on their income and to choose suitable products and services for them. Laura has been identified as a high net worth customer based on the income stated on her application. Inside the bank's Know Your Customer process, sub-processes are kicked off and a credit check is initiated. Another process is started to validate her identification. The former address on Laura's ID and her application don't match. Laura receives a text on her smartphone while she's still in the bank. This confirms her phone number and her email address. She is provided with a confirmation number and access to the bank's web portal to provide another form of ID and proof of address. The service delivery expectation is that the account will be established within 48 hours. Shortly after leaving the bank, Laura photographs her passport and uploads it securely via the Kofax mobile application. Within seconds, she receives a confirmation text that it's been received. Within the same text message, the bank has provided Laura with a link to their web portal where she can check the status of her application. The next day, Laura receives her first electric bill at her new house. She logs on to the bank's secure web portal and uploads the electric bill using her all-in-one device. As Laura's case is nearing the expected service delivery deadline, the Kofax Business Process Management System places a higher priority on the document. After submitting her electric bill as proof of address, Laura checks the status of her application in the web portal. There are multiple processes being managed in parallel by the Kofax Business Process Management System in order to meet the promised service delivery date. Back at the bank, to ensure the onboarding process continues to progress smoothly for Laura and all their new clients, a senior executive at Bankwright looks at his personal dashboards using a tablet device while traveling. They display the new account opening metrics compared to his monthly, quarterly, and annual targets. He can also look at process analytics that show real-time statistics for the customer onboarding process and for the performance of the service level agreement. This helps him to rapidly identify process problems and hotspots. Now that all the required documents have been received, the system initiates a request to the bank's line of business system to set up Laura's account. In this touchless process, all data is delivered to the bank line of business system and Laura's account is established. Laura can now see on the web portal that her account has been created and is moving to the funding stage. The web portal interfaces seamlessly with the bank's back-end enterprise systems to provide Laura with real-time status on her application. Another process is initiated with the bank's line of business system, again with all required and verified data, to transfer funds from Laura's old bank to her new account in Bankwright. Laura is notified by text message once all of her funds have been transferred. At this point, Laura's onboarding process is almost complete. She now receives special fulfillment correspondence from Bankwright. She has also been assigned a special high net worth account representative, Sophia Jones. She receives a text and email with Sophia's personal contact information and other product offers from the bank that are especially chosen for her. Laura's account was processed and funded from start to finish in less than 48 hours. The onboarding process was personalized to her situation and communication preferences, and she had complete visibility into the process at all times. A great customer service experience makes Laura a happy customer, and she's likely to recommend Bankwright to her friends. With the faster process, Bankwright realizes shorter time to revenue, makes Laura feel valued, and increases the likelihood of turning her into a loyal, lifetime customer. These benefits aren't limited to onboarding in just financial services. Insurance, healthcare, and government can all benefit from capturing information at the point of origination and using touchless processing to improve operational efficiency, all within an enterprise-ready, capture-enabled BPM solution. Learn more about how Kofax can streamline your customer onboarding for better customer experience, a competitive advantage, and faster time to revenue.
Just to recap a little bit on the video we just saw with customer onboarding with Kofax, just some key points here really is engaging the customer with how the customer wants to be engaged. So whether the process is started in the branch, notifications sent on their mobile device, trailing documents uploaded through the secure web portal from the bank, all of that can be integrated directly into the process. No matter which way it actually came in, notifications are sent out. All of this is in an automated fashion before any of the process gets downstream. So a lot of this upfront work, which used to take a lot of time and energy away on your subject matter experts, really doing, I would say, mundane tasks or less knowledge required tasks on following up and making sure they submitted the right document, making sure they submitted, 2011's return versus 2012's return. All of that can be handled in an automated fashion so that when the system does know that it actually has everything it's required, all of that then gets generated and sent downstream through the business process so that the workers can actually then work on high value tasks as opposed to some of the mundane tasks that typically is being run out of the process today. So all of that can be automated. All of the not in good order process, all the trailing document process, all of the interactions back to your customer can be in an automated way, even before it actually gets back to sort of kick off the process in the back end. A little bit of the difference in benefits from the front office to the back office and across. I would say this is not just specific to customer onboarding, but really a whole host of processes within the financial services world, including mortgage processing, which we'll see an example of in a little bit, claims processing on the insurance side. But really, from the front end, improved customer service perspective, you get more value in the time to sell. You get immediate response and secure handling of customer documents. On the back end, you get all the increased efficiencies with reduced processing time. Data accuracy goes through the roof. And again, you get that transparency and auditability of the data at each touch point. So, mobile mortgage. I'm going to dive into our next example of mortgage processing and how we can integrate the mobile applications and mobility into the mortgage process. We're talking about here how to accelerate the revenue, how to engage customers through the way that they want to be engaged, and again, create better decisions and visibility of the process. So how can we speed up the processing, do the processing with less errors? How can we give transparency and visibility into the process, get better data, and actually feed better information into the process engines and downstream line of business systems? 12 months ago, we came out with the industry's first mobile mortgage application, and it's really just an extension of the origination systems and processes that's meant to engage the user in the process in such a way it's really just another on-ramp into the origination process. So we can engage customers directly on their device. We can ask them for more information. We can, without asking them to do too much in that whole 9-second rule, as I alluded to earlier. And I think the best part of this is really the differentiator for us anyway at Kofax is provide that optimal image quality. So we're not just taking pictures and sending it downstream for someone else to manually key, but we're actually converting the pictures to image-ready quality types, so that quality type images, so that we can actually extract data right off the image, even if it is generated and sent in from a mobile device. So we have reduced exceptions, faster processing, and then one of the other big benefits here, especially from a customer perspective, is that we're not eating up all of their data plans by transferring large amounts of data here. Instead of transmitting 2 megabytes of files, we're actually doing 24 kilobytes, and you'll see it in a minute. So here's our platform, the mobile capture platform. It's very simple. On the bottom, on the left side, where it starts with taking the picture, and it can really be anything from the application itself, the driver's license, passports, utility bills for proof of residence, proof of address, sorts of things, right through the device itself. Once the picture is taken, we actually use the VRS patent, the Kofax patented VRS technology, to clean up and compress the image for optimizing and transferring and extraction of data. So then once it actually hits the system, that's where we do all of the typical, I would say typical process for Kofax, is really classifying documents, doing the recognition on it, extracting data, validating data, and then delivering all that to your back-end system, whether it's a line of business system, a BPM system. And then I think one of the big parts you'll see here in a little bit through Bruce Orcutt's demo is really confirming that the customer has actually sent it, that we got it, and we're processing it. And I think that's a vital way to close the loop with the customer and prevent some of those extra calls into the call center asking, hey, did you get this? Did you get that? And then have the customer actually sending the same documents in 2 or 3 times. So, Bruce, can you run through the mobile app for us here?
This sample mobile application developed utilizing the Kofax Mobile Capture SDK and connecting to the Kofax mobile platform. In this example, a customer is using their mobile banking application and is notified by the loan process that additional documents are required in support of their loan application. The user is then guided through the process of capturing and submitting this information directly to the loan process. This capability not only engages the customer in the process, but accelerates the processing time for this information as it is captured directly by the user or their broker at the point of origination. The user will be notified as to which document is required. The application using Kofax patented VRS image perfection technology will guide them through the capturing of the document and then through the submission. Once submitted, Kofax advanced technology classifies the documents to ensure the right document was submitted and extracts the data. This is an important step as the system can ensure that the right document is submitted and the data contained within the document supports the requested information. Here you can see the application running on the user's phone. They select the submit button, and now they're prompted for the documents that are being requested by the loan process. In this case, the user is being prompted for a W-2. They select the W-2 case. They go ahead and, utilizing the camera widget from Kofax Mobile SDK, captures the document utilizing Kofax VRS technology. The document is captured for the user, and now they can go ahead and submit this or capture additional pages if required. So here they can go ahead and review the document that was captured, select the submit button, and now the document is submitted directly back into the loan process where it can now be put into the flow and ultimately funded. Here in the back office, utilizing the Kofax mobile platform, we can see the results of the information that was extracted from this document. We can make sure that it's a W-2 from 2011 and that all the data is there, so we can automatically extract this information for the business process, making it available for those process engines to make decisions and ultimately fund or accelerate the processing of this loan application.
Thanks, Bruce. Just to recap a little bit, with the mobile mortgage app with Kofax, you get better image quality, you get process-ready documents. They're in the right format, the right orientation, smaller file sizes, which I think is a real impact on customers' data plans. And again, we're not asking the customer to key data in. We're really merely asking them for what type of document, take the picture, and submit. Again, all within that kind of that 9-second strategic rule that we talked about earlier. The process flow is very simple for a user to follow. We think that's actually key to enablement and increased usage of the application itself, but it really is prompting the user for the required document. And this can be actually in a text message, as you saw in the customer onboarding video. It can be even an email that can be pulled up on their email on their mobile phone. They click a link, it pulls up the application. you tell it what kind of document it is, you take the picture, and it's submitted. And I think, again, a vital piece of this in closing the loop with the customer is that confirmation that it has been delivered to the mobile platform, so that you do not get all of the questions and all of the duplicate documents being submitted from the customer. They actually can see that the document's been submitted, it's being worked, and you can actually communicate some expectation on when it should be processed and when they're going to get back to them with decisions. Again, just to highlight another major portion of another major differentiator for us is that we're actually extracting data from these images that are submitted on the mobile device. So it's not just taking a picture, but it's really converting it to an image so that we can extract data from it, and we can deliver that data into downstream processes. And again, this is just another on-ramp. It's the same process whether it was actually delivered via an email, scanned at a branch, sent via mail to a central processing site. All of that kind of goes through the same process, and the same information is actually extracted, whether it was, again, submitted via mobile or any other input channel. Again, that consistency in the channel of choice for the process. And again, the confirmation, I think, is vital for us to create that engagement with the customer, close the loop. And again, we can also provide additional information back to the customer with the status, the links, unique ID, so they can actually see their documents on a web portal. You can actually do a lot of things with the confirmation itself. Even offer cross-selling or other services or products within the bank. Some key takeaways as we kind of conclude the webinar today. Really the value proposition for banks, as you can see here, improved customer profitability. Included in there, I would say, is a lot of the visibility in the engagement with the customer in new and exciting ways. Increase your operational efficiency. It's a standard process. It's one way in, no matter what input channel. You get high data accuracy, fast information, and that flexible platform so that you can scale when the interest rates go up or interest rates go down. You don't have to be hiring people or laying off temps. The system can scale with you in all kinds of markets. And then you can actually restructure all these costs intelligently and actually get some real value in real savings and hard dollar ROI by doing the Kofax solutions. Kofax this is a new Forrester wave that came out a couple of months ago on a multi-channel, again, capture, which again is all of the input channels, not just one input channel, but a multi-channel. And you can see where Kofax has ranked within the wave, the Forrester wave. It's the highest position, the strongest market presence, and you can actually see we're actually off the chart on the right side with the strong strategy and outdistancing a lot of our competitors. Our company, successful and growing. You'll see here 20,000+ customers, tens of thousand integrations with ERP, CRM, line of business systems. And I think one of the things we're most proud of is we are focused on innovation. We continue to invest. 13% of our software revenue goes into R&D. We're a global company, 37 countries and growing. So we're very stable, been around for a while. We are the leader in this industry. Again, just a little bit of the types of customers that are engaged with Kofax. 86 of the global Fortune 100 companies are, in fact, Kofax customers. That's up our webinar today. Thank you very much for paying attention. If you have any questions, my email is listed here. Please visit our mobilecapture.com website and our solutions website off of Kofax.com, banking and finance. Thank you very much.